Sri Lanka's democratic shift, a new era of governance. Sri Lanka is embarking on a profound political transformation under the leadership of President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, who took office on September 23, 2024. His rise to power signals a pivotal moment for the island nation, with a renewed focus on fortifying democratic principles and tackling corruption head-on. This bold shift in governance has already captured international attention, offering a stark contrast to the political turbulence often observed across South Asia. With a sweeping mandate, Dissanayake has set the stage for ambitious reforms that could redefine Sri Lanka's political trajectory. This transformation is more than just a change in leadership. It represents a significant departure from the status quo. At a time when several neighbouring nations are grappling with authoritarian tendencies and democratic backsliding, Sri Lanka's resurgence could provide a beacon of hope for the region. Over the course of this video, we'll delve into the driving forces behind this democratic shift, examining the post-election landscape, the administration's reform agenda, the challenges ahead, and the critical role of citizen engagement in shaping the nation's future. Welcome to the Global Insight. The 2024 presidential election signalled a transformative moment for Sri Lanka's political history. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, leading the National People's Power or NPP coalition, secured a resounding victory, with his party winning 159 out of 225 parliamentary seats in the November 2024 elections. This unprecedented two-thirds majority grants Dissanayake the authority to pursue sweeping economic and constitutional reforms, a mandate rarely seen in the country's recent history. According to reports from the BBC, this level of support underscores the population's desire for meaningful change after years of economic and political instability. The elections were a triumph not just for Dissanayake, but for Sri Lanka's democratic process. International observers, including the European Union Election Observation Mission, praised the elections for their transparency, higher voter turnout, and fairness. This stands as a testament to the nation's enduring democratic spirit, even amid past challenges. Dissanyake's ascension to power followed the powerful 2022 citizen-led protests that demanded accountability for the country's severe economic mismanagement. By advocating for unity across ethnic divides and championing pro-people economic policies, Dissanayake struck a chord with a population yearning for stability, transparency, and renewed faith in governance. The administration's early steps have emphasized a commitment to rebuilding public trust, focusing on transparency and accountability as the cornerstones of governance. This marks a decisive shift for Sri Lanka as it seeks to rebuild its institutions and foster a political culture that places citizens at its heart. President Dissanyake's administration has ushered in a new era of governance with an unwavering focus on democratic reforms. At the forefront of these efforts is the repeal of the controversial Prevention of Terrorism Act, a long-standing demand from human rights advocates both within Sri Lanka and internationally. This move signifies a break from the country's repressive past and a step forward aligning with global human rights standards. Alongside this, Dissanayake has committed to enacting equitable economic policies to alleviate poverty and reduce economic disparities, a promise that resonates deeply with Sri Lanka's struggling population. According to Human Rights Watch, these reforms could redefine governance in a nation striving to rebuild trust between its government and its people. The government's dedication to improving electoral processes has also been acknowledged on the international stage. The European Union Election Observation Mission highlighted critical advances, including greater transparency in campaign financing and the unprecedented involvement of youth in the electoral process. These measures reflect a broader commitment to inclusivity and fairness, ensuring that future elections are not only democratic but also more representative of the population's diverse voices. Central to Dissanyake's vision is the reconciliation with marginalized communities, particularly the Tamil population, which has long endured the aftermath of Sri Lanka's protracted civil conflict. By fostering meaningful dialogue and addressing historical grievances, the administration seeks to create an inclusive political environment that unites rather than divides. This focus on reconciliation is not merely symbolic, it's a cornerstone of the government's strategy to rebuild a cohesive and equitable society where all citizens have a stake in the nation's future. While President Dissanyake's administration has ignited hope for a brighter future, the path forward is fraught with significant challenges. Chief among them is the lingering economic fallout from the devastating 2022 crisis, during which Sri Lanka declared bankruptcy amid skyrocketing inflation and critically low foreign reserves. According to the Asia Society, this period saw the number of people living below the World Bank's extreme poverty line double, underscoring the urgency for economic recovery. Rebuilding an economy so deeply fractured requires not only sound policy, but also the ability to manage public frustration, particularly as citizens struggle to regain financial stability. In addition to economic hurdles, Dissanayake faces the intricate task of addressing the demands of the Tamil community, whose calls for autonomy have long been a source of tension. Engaging with these communities in a meaningful way is essential to ensuring long-term stability and fostering national reconciliation. Balancing these efforts with the expectations of an electorate that voted overwhelmingly for change will test the administration's capacity to deliver tangible results. Years of mismanagement have left citizens weary, and their patience is not limitless. Further complicating matters are Sri Lanka's existing agreements with international financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund. While the IMF's support is crucial for stabilizing the economy, the strict austerity measures tied to its programs have sparked widespread discontent. Cuts to essential services and the rising cost of living have led to growing frustration, creating a precarious balancing act for the government. The challenge lies in honouring commitments to international creditors while ensuring that austerity measures do not derail the administration's reform agenda or alienate the very citizens it seeks to uplift. Sri Lanka's democratic shift under President Dissanayake is unfolding against the backdrop of a region defined by intense geopolitical competition. India and China, both vying for influence in South Asia, are paying close attention to the new administration's policies. Dissanyake's leftist leanings have sparked speculation that his government may lean towards Beijing, potentially reshaping the balance of power in the region. According to the BBC, this alignment could influence not only Sri Lanka's economic trajectory, but also its ability to navigate sovereignty concerns and uphold democratic integrity in the face of external pressures. The administration's challenge lies in leveraging these partnerships to advance economic recovery while maintaining an independent stance that reflects Sri Lanka's national priorities. At the same time, the Dissanayake government is striving to diversify Sri Lanka's foreign relations, signalling a departure from its traditional reliance on a few key partners. This strategy involves seeking investments and fostering economic collaboration with a broader array of nations, while ensuring that domestic interests take precedence. Achieving this delicate balance will require nuanced diplomacy and transparent communication, both with the Sri Lankan public and the international community. The administration's success in this endeavour will play a crucial role in stabilising the nation's economy and solidifying its position as a key player in South Asia's complex regional dynamics. Sustainable progress in Sri Lanka's democratic transformation depends heavily on the active participation of its citizens. President Dissanyake's administration has emphasised the importance of inclusive governance by prioritising initiatives that encourage greater political involvement among women and marginalised communities. According to the European Union Election Observation Mission, efforts to amplify the voices of underrepresented groups are essential for fostering a political environment that reflects Sri Lanka's diverse population. By empowering grassroots movements and expanding civic engagement, the government can cultivate a democracy that is not only vibrant, but deeply rooted in the will of the people. Beyond political inclusion, economic empowerment will be a critical factor in maintaining public trust and ensuring long-term stability. The administration has outlined plans to address economic disparities through targeted social programs designed to alleviate poverty and enhance access to essential services like education and healthcare. Initiatives such as these, supported by frameworks like social safety nets, can help rebuild confidence in government efforts while creating pathways for economic mobility. By linking democratic participation with tangible improvements in living standards, Dissanyake's administration has the opportunity to solidify its reform agenda and inspire greater civic engagement across all strata of society. Sri Lanka's democratic transformation under President Dissanayake marks a pivotal chapter in the nation's history, offering the chance to redefine its governance and political identity. With bold commitments to reform, the administration has the potential to establish Sri Lanka as a model of inclusive democracy in a region often marred by instability and authoritarian tendencies. However, this ambitious shift will demand unwavering dedication to transparency, justice, and reconciliation, along with a delicate balancing act between addressing internal challenges and managing complex international relationships. As Sri Lanka navigates this path, the lessons of the past must guide the journey forward. Building a future rooted in equity and justice requires the government to remain steadfast in its promise of engaging all communities, fostering unity, and restoring public trust. If successful, this transformation could not only elevate Sri Lanka, but also inspire a wave of democratic renewal across South Asia. That's it from the team at the Global Insight for now, but we want to hear what you think. How does Sri Lanka's shift towards democracy affect the region's political landscape? Do you believe its reforms will inspire other South Asian nations? And what challenges do you see as the most pressing for this new administration? As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel here at the Global Insight. And until next time, stay tuned.